Here we are on Sunday, Mother's Day, and it's beautiful, and we are in this beautiful backyard here in the most northwest corner, the most northwest city, the most northwest state in the lower 48. That's Bellingham, Washington, my home, and we are in the hot seat, and our socially distanced audience, they feel like they're in March, and we feel like we're in July because we are in the sun and they are in the shade, and we hope you are comfortable wherever you are. And it being Mother's Day, I've got to start out with my mother's favorite song of mine. Off a record I made over 20 years ago. I have not yet written a song that my mother likes more than this one, but I'm going to keep trying. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. And to all the mothers and all the aunts and the sisters and nurturing women that make the world go round. It may be raining in Paris. It may be sunny in Shanghai, but talking the weather is a chore when you're walking out the door. Simply stop and kiss your lover goodbye. You may be concerned about the future, how you'll get on in that great by and by, but whether it's pure bliss or something you'd prefer to miss, you should always kiss your lover goodbye. Everything may be going wonderful, everything may be going fine, but you better pause at the door, kiss your lover goodbye. Oh, this one may not be the right one. You may be asking yourself why, but it's not a matter of philosophy, it's simply common courtesy to stop and kiss your lover goodbye. And you may want to leave before breakfast, simply hit the road and fly. You may want to leave before you put your clothes on, but you should always kiss your lover goodbye. And you should always kiss your mother, your sister, and your brother. They'll protect you in that great by and by. Always kiss your grandmother, but don't forget your lover. You should always kiss your lover goodbye. There may be something you're not telling, I asked you would simply deny, but the half-truths you sow will eat you up, you know. Stop and kiss your lover goodbye. You may be beaten, you may be broken, maybe all you can do to let out a sigh. But let me tell you, brother, you better muster up the luster to stop and kiss your lover goodbye. It may be cigarettes, it may be marijuana, and maybe homebrew that gets you high, but to avoid confusion when you go and pick a new one, stop and kiss your lover goodbye. One day you may wake up feeling lonely, wishing there was someone by your side. The mistakes of the past have caught up at last. You should have stopped and kissed your lover goodbye. And you should always kiss your mother, your sister, and your brother. They'll protect you in that great by and by. Always kiss your grandmother, but don't forget your lover. You should always kiss your lover goodbye. Thank you very much. And a happy Mother's Day to my mother in particular there. That's her favorite song of mine. And one of the last fun things that happened to me before the big old pause we had in all of our lives. We've lost a year. Someone asks you how long has it been since you did something, and you can't really keep track of it. Is it February? Yeah, but what February? It's hard to really say exactly. It's all just getting so fuzzy. But before the lockdown, the autumn before the lockdown, my mother and stepfather and I went to Ireland, and I got to drive them around because I'm very happy on the other side of the road. I might even prefer it. I'm not sure, but I'm very happy on the other side of the road. And I got to drive them around, and one of my favorite, favorite, why do you have to have one? But right up there, my favorite mostly unknown Irish songwriter is Tony Reedy from Westport. And when you go to Ireland and go to Westport, he is part of a session that happens on Sunday nights at the Cobbler, and it starts at 10 and it goes on from there. And we were there very late one night, and this was not a trip with my mother, because mother goes to bed well before that type of performance would begin. But that's when I first heard Tony. Very late in the night, he tried to leave, but then someone told him, there's some songwriters in the room. You should do one, Tony. Do one of your own, because it's a session. Everybody's doing all kinds of stuff. And Tony did this song that I'm about to play, and I fell in love with it right away. And then the next day walked all over the small town. I was like, oh, yeah, Tony, yeah, we love his. Do you have his CDs here at the CD shop? No, we don't. Geez, I could call him. I don't know. No, he's not picking up. But try the bookstore. I walked over to the bookstore. Yeah, we love Tony. Do you have any CDs? No, don't have any. They have them at the supermarket sometimes. You go to the supermarket. So I just went all over town trying to find more of Tony's music. And when I went back in the autumn with my mother, I asked around, and I went into our. I said, any chance Tony Reedy's playing a session tonight somewhere? And the guy said, I'll call him. So he calls him, and sure enough, he was doing a session, and it was a dinner time session, which was the most appropriate timing for the group I was traveling with, my mom there. So my mom, stepdad, and I got to hear Tony sing to pretty much only us and maybe one or two other tables. And this is a Tony Reedy song that I love. I remember the day, I remember the do it in this key too. I remember the day, I remember it well. The 15th of August, we cycled to town. Went over the hills, we stood on the pedals. On the feast of the Assumption of Mary into heaven, I took a picture of you with my Brownie 127 1962. And your smile and a sky of blue was all I could ask for in a field of view. Innocent times, a mother and son, trying to be saints as we cycled along. In a summery dress, you look your best. Way back then, before your sad days came. Bikes in the shade, a good crowd in town. We talked to the neighbors and cycled back home. Home to the house and home to the place where I grew up and played before your sad days came. Innocent times, a mother and son, trying to be saints as we cycled along. Innocent times, a mother and son, trying to be saints as we cycled along. Been a little while since we've done this one at the kitchen table. This is, if there is so much as something called a hit from my record Recitative, I think this is my hit. Now, I mean, that's just a feeling. That's no reflection of record sales or plays on the radio or popularity or even enjoyment. It just feels like a hit. You see these interviews with musical documentaries, and people are back there. They're always filming guys and gals, and they're the soundboards, and big soundboards, and they say, we just knew it was a hit. It's like, I just knew this one was a hit when I recorded. I knew it. And you got to build your own myth. No one else is going to build it for you. Couples eating dinner with a couple of arms around each other. In bars and in parks, you can find couples pushing shopping carts. Invited to events in a twosome. Housed in houses, communes, apartments, and condominiums. Couples talk openly to each other. They tell each other things friends told them in confidence. It's understood that you can say anything in a couple. A couple of beers, a couple of teachers all got together and in the evening broke into couples. Couples. They got secrets that they share. No one knew that a couple of hippies on the south side were really a couple of heirs. Couples get in fights and couples work things out. Some couples in counseling will tell you this is what being in a couple, it is all about. Couples get together with other couples. And they say, hi, how are you? How long have you two been up? Summer concert in the park, live series with a socially distanced audience. Best in groups divisible by two.
It's true.
Old couples go home early. Young couples, they stay out long after dark. To do what? To listen to the lion. To listen to the lion. Yes, remember back when we used to leave to do things. We would go to places that were different than our homes, and we would socialize with people that were different than our family members, and then we would at some point leave, and some people went home early and some people went home late. And sometimes when you came back from some sort of concert or event, a gathering, you weren't ready for bed. You just had to soak in the vibrations of the conversation and the drink and the moment and all the energy that was flowing around. In you, we don't have that feeling anymore. The only conversation and visuals we got for so long was through the screen. But hey, I'm glad you're here through the screen, because if it wasn't for the screen at all, it just would have been a lot of book reading. And I know we have some professors in the distance audience out there, and they enjoyed that. They got some really good reading done this last year. I mean, I started reading some books I intended to read. I was going to read A Pathway to the Sea, all about the building of the Panama Canal, and I picked it up, I put it down. I picked it up, I put it down, pick it up, put it down. Never did pick it up long enough to read it, because I got involved in this. I'm in an online community. And it used to be that if you were in an online community, you were sort of a different type of person. I mean, you might not admit to your parents on Mother's Day that you're in an online community, but now everybody's in an online community. Second graders in an online community. Senior citizens in an online community. Everybody in an online community. I want to get into a offline community. Trying to get into an offline community. And in that offline community, I will come home, and it'll be nice to be home because I haven't been at home all the time. And I'll be buzzing from the concert that I saw. Maybe I saw Lucky Brown. Maybe it was Yoga Man, Burning Man. Who knows who it was? I came home, and because I live in Washington State, or soon to be maybe the entire USA, I smoked a perfectly legal and therapeutic marijuana cigarette and listened to what I do believe is legal everywhere. Listen to an LP of Van Morrison. You know, I think that's legal everywhere, even though I think it could be even more dangerous than smoking a marijuana cigarette. Certainly it's more effective for me. And listen to him sing, to listen to the lion, to listen to the lion, to listen to the lion. A couple of tickets can be cheaper than two, like a Noah's Ark, what we're here to do. Get in a couple and think like one, get in a fight and get short-tongued. Work it out what you ought to do. A couple makes a kid, the kid gets coupled up too. Couples. They switch it up. Couple falls apart. Bad luck. But some couples stick to the guns. Some couples are in for the bucks. Maybe just the fun. Couples have met at socially distanced live stream concerts. It's hard. It's hard to do that. It's very hard to meet someone new at a socially distanced live stream concert, you know. But it's actually, people sometimes meet each other in online communities, such as live stream audiences and in other strange situations. Couple gets married. Everybody says, United Nations salutations, great sensation, and ancient expedition, a classic combination. Couple of queens is a pretty good bet, but they can't get married in the Catholic Church, not yet. A couple of deuces more often than not walks home taking the whole damn pot. Couples. A couple of singles went out to dance. They met a couple of dancers who then took a chance. Somebody got out the credit card at the end of the night, and everybody walked home in a brand new couple. Judging by the demographic of the audience gathered today and the fact that we've all been in a pandemic for 14 months, I'm not sure anybody here or anywhere else has gone home with a brand new couple in a very, very, very long time. I mean, it's like that's something you only see on a screen. I mean, and actually, if you want to keep your coupleness together, you might leave that in the screen. Leave that in the screen now, everybody. Where were we? Oh yeah, but there's a time and there's a place, and you gotta feel for the young people who want to be gathering to new couples constantly, and to do so, they first have to have a kiss through a mask. Now, I hate to bring this up for a wider audience, but at one point in the Seattle Times, they quoted someone from the health department saying that hookups could happen with the proper use of a shower curtain. I'm not making this up. And understand that the messaging from public health has been complicated. It's been an evolving situation, but and we all have had to use our own common sense to some degree, but I feel like some people might have lost trust in the health department and the Seattle Times when they read that. I mean, that was... Where were we? Walking home for a brand new couple. That's right. They got a copy of the Seattle Times under one arm They got a backpack with a shower curtain on the backpack, and they're going home with someone brand new. They're singing doot 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 doot. We're gonna keep it COVID safe. Doot 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 doot. Brand new shower curtain. Doot 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 doot. It's got that new shower curtain smell, but but you don't want the used shower curtain smell either. So it's a complicated balancing act. Couple of shots gets the night started. A couple condoms used. A couple shower curtains used when the couple parted. A couple of aspirin to kill the pain. Back to sleep again. A couple more hours ought to do that task. A couple more kisses makes the moment last. Next day got a couple things to do. Send a text message. I've been thinking about you. Couple of more nights like this. Someone asks how long since you two kissed. You tell a friend, she tells her better half. Don't tell anyone. Both of you laugh. Last name dropped and nearly forgotten. First names get an "an" between them. I'll stop now. But I think this could go on forever. Oh, thank you to our limited live audience here in the most northwest corner, the most northwest city, most northwest state in the lower 48. We have one audience member who is in direct view of the camera. So when I look at yourself, and I know I've met... No, it's fine. It's just I don't want you to feel uncomfortable. I'm realizing you might feel I'm kind of staring you down. It's because the camera's here, and that is the portal. The portal. But, you know, it's like, geez, he wouldn't stop looking. I mean, it's kind of rude. I mean, just looking. So we're balancing. This is the second time we've had an audience. We're figuring out how it works. And we don't know if we're doing a live stream with a live audience or a concert with a live stream. You know, it's maybe we need a yin yang symbol that celebrates both sides together. So happy to be here. For those of you that are used to watching the show, you know that something happens right about now called the third song check-in. We just like to take a moment, see what's going on with everybody. Make sure everybody's doing okay. We like everybody who is watching at home to write in, type in where you're watching from, because it's fun to know where people are watching from. I'm just going to assume everybody in the audience is watching from this yard here. I think it's safe to assume that. And let everybody know we got the Venmo, we got the PayPal. Please do make a contribution to keep our ship floating. This is not only fun for us, it's also our job. So we got the contribution there, and I have write down things to say in case I forget. Yes, if you can, and you can, if you got the screen in front of you, push share on your screen. And we had technical difficulties. Our pre-roll of me walking through the woods actually shut down for the first time while it was pre-rolling, which meant we didn't get rolling until now. So what a wild ride it's already been here on Mother's Day. And our mothers up above, for those who have mothers up above, are watching down on us because the roll seems to be rolling. David, what is the news from the outer space?
Good question, Robert. Well, I am happy to say that this week, Kimberly Sabin, top fan and curator of the From the Kitchen Table Irregulars Facebook group, is tuning in.
Good. Yeah, Kimberly, we missed you last week, but we appreciated that you checked in at the start of the show to let us know you couldn't be here. That was great. And she and her dad were in Key West.
She is actually with her mother for the first time in 10 years, all the way from Florida.
All right.
All still watching the show.
Love it.
And, you know, the rest of the irregulars seem to have tuned in. Connie Borneman Wakefield wants everyone to know that she, Terry's sister, of course, is tuning in from West Branch, Michigan, and that she's...
Hi, Connie!
And that she's coming out soon.
Okay, good.
So she'll be here. And the rest of the irregulars are here. The old fashions in hands. Do you want to talk about the old fashions, Robert?
Well, I do. We have a thing going here at the Irregulars. That's the group that seems to come around on a regular enough a basis that they're both regular and irregular. And so we're certainly happy to have them. And we started sharing cocktails on Sundays so everybody could drink the same cocktail no matter where you were, where your kitchen table landed. And the drink this week, which I wasn't able to pull off, was an old-fashioned. So I don't think anybody here was able to pull off an old-fashioned, but we're just doing the best we can. So I got a ginger beer going here, and we got a Boundary Bay beer because we love Boundary Bay beer. So we're Northwest fashion, not old fashioned at the moment. But there is a new drink every week, and Chuckanut Distillery does sponsor us with a bottle of booze, which, I mean, you're going to think when I say that we lost the bottle of bourbon, you're going to think I'm making that up. But they gave us a bottle of bourbon 2 months ago, and I thought David had it. David thought I had it. It's really hard to say. So we're going to have to get another bottle of bourbon for next week, or whatever the drink may be. If you have a drink suggestion, let Kimberly know. She's the administrator of our drink selection. And, of course, Billiam and Judy are tuning in from Guelph, and Henry in St. Louis. I mean, I don't know that, but they always are. I'm going to be worried if they're not. Thanks for being here. Anything else, David?
I'm just wondering what they drink in the Florida Keys. Is there maybe there's a drink that Kimberly can bring back from the Florida Keys to Buffalo, New York, and we can have that.
That, and while we are celebrating, we're talking about the third song, check-in. Next week, the show is on the road, and I will be broadcasting live from the kitchen table from Minot, North Dakota, from the beer garden of the Atypical Brewery, because my family, my partner and daughter, are in Michigan, and I'm going to go drive and pick them up, and on the way, there's going to be a sundae. So I had to tune in from somewhere. I'm going to tune in from Minot. And that, I'm also going to have a wonderful experience on this trip. I'm going to go to the place, the town, where my birth grandmother is from. I've met my birth grandmother late in her life, early enough in my life, I suppose. She's from Flaxville, Montana, population 14 currently. Hard to get a hotel there, so I'm going to stay in Scobie, Montana. It's not far away, and my people are LaRouches and parents and descendants of the Shell tribe, and we're doing a little bit of family history, so enjoying that, and also less ceremoniously dependents of people who are in Custer's army. I suppose if you're white and you have people in Montana, you might just be a descendant of somebody who was on the side of the Battle of the Little Bighorn that lost and makes all of us feel good, but it was just one battle that was part of a major genocide that makes us feel bad. We got to live with that history. We can't deny it. We got to step up to that history. My personal family history is there up in northeastern Montana. I'm going to go check it out. This is a story of my birth grandmother, of which I filled in a lot of the details. The muse, the great muse, visited with the details. But I think the essence is kind of on spot. I wrote this song when I was spending a lot of time touring Ireland. And there's a phrase they use in Ireland. They call someone a chancer. And it's kind of a put down, but it's also sort of a celebratory put down. As if maybe a person who would show up to a party without any beer and drink beer other people brought to the party might be a chancer. That sort of. But you know what? That person's a lot of fun. Because there's other words for people who drink other people's beer who aren't a lot of fun. Granddad was a chancer. Him I never met. Grandmother a romancer. I suppose she lost the bet. Mother was an accident. No one knew the better. She was born and abandoned and adopted undercover. Under cover of the night, the Catholics kept things tight. Lips don't speak, truth kept discreet and kept out of sight. Out of sight, so no one would know. There was nothing new about Elvis. There was always rock and roll. In the spirit of the World War, everything was done in haste. Condoms were rubber, and there was no rubber to waste. I'll marry you Two men told her twice. 2 times burned, she never saw any rise. By March, she had taken a job away from home. Went to an orphanage, had that baby all alone. And she never told anyone a thing. Told herself it was nothing but a dream. And Granddad went on down the line, I suppose he never knew. Went to fight for Roosevelt, heart red, white, and blue. He danced with some French girls the day they won the fight, and he never thought about that gal in the California night. California night, and the band was doing what they should. Put a sparkle in their eyes as they walked to the woods. California night, and I'm glad they did what they did. They made my mother, and of course, I'm her kid. Yeah, Granddad was a chancer, him I'll never meet. I wonder if I got his eyes, I'm grateful for his feet. Maybe he's one of those old guys, you know, kinda hangs around. Chances are good he's gone and lying in the ground. Grandmother never got the love she deserved. Kept her shame to herself as she walked the earth. But the shackles we have are the ones we choose to keep. When I met her, she told me it's just like a dream. It's just like a dream. Oh, grandmother was a chancer. I've been negligent in my shepherding. That's a little bit too religious. I was about to say shepherding of the flock. That's just one step beyond what I'm comfortable doing. I would say captaining of the ship would be a more comfortable metaphor. That we do have a very special guest. We have the one and only Philip Hofmann, Bellingham's newest bard, will be our guest. Not quite time for him yet, but he's in the house. He's taking the seat at the bow. The aft, the breezeway. Is there a breezeway on a ship? Because it seems like there should be, right? I mean, maybe the whole ship is a breezeway. We're on a theme. It's Mother's Day. We're doing song. See, these guests over there. I'm looking at them. It's like March over there, and it's July over here. It's amazing. For those who don't live in this part of the country, we have all the seasons at the same time. It's amazing. And I'm going to go to the other side now. My paternal grandmother's Maxine Sarazin. That's where the name comes from. Oh, part of the way to Maxine. Part of the way to Maxine. Oh, part of the way to Maxine. Oh, part of the way to Maxine. Oh, part of the way you'll be singing the blues. Oh, part of the way you got nothing to lose. And some of the way you're gonna be feeling bad. Spend a couple days you can't get out of your own head. Oh, part of the way to Maxine. Oh, part of the way to Maxine. Oh, part of the way to Maxine. Part of the way to Maxine. Oh, part of the way you'll be reading Sylvia Plath. Oh, part of the way you'll be doing the math. Part of the way you're gonna cry when you hear taps. Oh, part of the way you'll be burning the maps. Oh, part of the way to Maxine. Part of the way to Maxine. A part of the way to Maxine. Oh, part of the way to Maxine. You're gonna do something wrong, you're gonna know it right away. Carried around to the end of your days. Hell isn't the place you go when you're dead. It's the way you feel when you regret what you did or said. Walking around and hanging your head in shame. You're a fool if you think there's someone else to blame. If you have no regrets, son, you aren't paying attention. Make someone else feel good, taking a step into heaven. Oh, part of the way to Maxine. A part of the way to Maxine. A part of the way to Maxine. Oh, part of the way to Maxine. All right, David. Part of the way to Maxine. Oh, part of the way to Maxine. Oh, part of the way to Maxine. Oh, part of the way to Max. Hey, that's David Pender Lofgren over there playing the bodhrán, connecting all the screens, the cables, the ones and the zeros to make this kitchen table go absolutely anywhere. And I bet we have people listening in Ireland right now. We get Ireland listeners. We get people from Germany listening. They are awake very late. But you know what? It's a 24-hour world. I was listening to a great podcast comes out of Ireland called United Ireland, and these two very smart, very great conversationalists, Una and Andrea, talk about all kinds of subjects. And one subject they got on is that there needs to be a night mayor in Dublin, and perhaps other cities could have nightmare, not Nightmare on Elm Street vibe, but a mayor for the night, because somebody should be cultivating the nightlife in cities so that there's a 24-hour life going on, because some people are happy being up late, just like the people who are watching us right now in Europe. They are up very late. They want to stay up late, so somebody monitor over that, because the mayor is a day job. No one's ever looked at the mayorship as, although I think it's a 24-hour job in its own way, but it's really a day job. So that's a transgression, absolutely, that I got to talking about that podcast. And we're just going to keep moving right on the show, because this is live TV. Whoever thought I'd end up in TV? I don't even watch TV. But I do watch a live stream when sometimes I what do they call this, David? Get appointment viewing? Appointment viewing. Yeah. Sometimes I do appointment viewing. Another time, what's the other kind of viewing?
On demand.
On demand.
On demand.
Oh, no, well, okay. Sometimes I do stumble across viewing, and I did stumble across. Clinton Farron does a live stream on Sundays, and he's curating to the European audience, so he does it at 10 or 11, which for us is a nice time in the morning. Listen to Clinton Farron play his wonderful music, so put that on your radar. Send this one out to my partner, Aaron. So excited we got a little baby. So my first Mother's Day, that there's a very special mother in my life. She's visiting her folks and came across a letter she had written to her local nun when she was a young girl, and shared that with me. So I thought, all right, I'm going to do this one. This great song from great Chicago songwriter whose name is escaping me right now. But if Dad and Donna are watching, they can put the name in the comments, because I know they'll know the name of the songwriter. Michael Smith, it's coming to me. Sister Clarissa could have been on the stage, but Jesus came over, told her he'd rather her teach 5th grade. Sister Clarissa is engaged to our Lord. He promised to take her to heaven. He never goes back on his word. Sister Clarissa is 11 feet tall, and her rosary hangs, and it clatters and it clangs as she walks down the hall. Somehow you know summer's over. Who made me? God made me to know him, to love him, to serve him in this world, and to be happy with him forever. Sister Clarissa believes in free will, the communion of saints, the forgiveness of sins, and a quiet fire drill. And when she hugs you, she hugs too tight. She gives you a star on the forehead for spelling Connecticut right. Who made me? God made me to know him, to love him, to serve him in this world, and to be happy with him forever. Many years later, on a memory walk through the old corridors, dusted with years of chalk, you see Sister Clarissa, and she looks just the same, and the sound of a rosary still brings a chill. She remembers your name, and the years disappear as though they've never been, and you hear yourself saying, yes, sister, no, sister, like you were 10. And you're so glad to see that she's still the same way, and you tell her you love her before she goes over to her fiancé. Who made me? God made me to know him, to love him, to serve him in this world, and to be happy with him forever. I think I'll do one more, and then it will be time for the one and only Philip Hofmann, Bellingham's newest bard. He came up here a few years ago, and he's been making the scene, you know, and he started releasing videos, musical videos. I made that joke last week, and it really landed in the audience, you know. This crowd, you can be making any kind of video you want. They're not going to really. But I want to send one out here to my very special stepmother and my father. Live in Bellingham, and my stepmother loves this song by Richard Thompson. So I thought I would do this Richard Thompson song for my stepmother. I was just 19 when it came to town, called the summer of love. They were burning babies, burning flags, the hawks against the dove. I think I might just tune it up a little bit from there. I like singing low, but a little bit higher. Who's that? Sam Cooke? A little bit higher now? Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's a little bit higher now. Well, I'm thinking of shout is what I'm thinking of. Yeah. Yeah. Which I'm doing a lot of ballads. We could use a little shout. We could use a little shout, but you're not getting it. You're not getting it. No, the kitchen table is a little ballad heavy. I mean, it's a little ballad heavy. What can we say? The kitchen table, it's... I could do... You know what? It's funny you should say that because I was doing a gig, and this is definitely an aside. I had that feeling once. We did a gig in Syracuse, New York, and this is with my band of guys who are in their 20s who live in the Hudson Valley, and they can do anything. They backed up Donald Fagen and Steely Dan. They can do anything, right? So I know if I can think of it, they can do it, right? And we were playing. It happened to be on 4/20. That's April 20th at a college basement party. Yeah. Are you with me, people? Are you with me, people? You did not have to be smoking an illegal marijuana cigarette to be feeling the effects of the marijuana cigarette. And I heard like 5 songs and I'm like, wow, this is going great, but it just seems to be, is everything going slow? Are we playing every tempo slow? Oh. But then I reached a little bit of elevated space and I said, guys, let's play shout. I think we can do it. I couldn't do it. I could not do it. I could not do it. It's like, I don't know. It's like children see people walking. They think they can do it. They do it. And what do? That's what happened to me. I fell right over trying to do shout at a hot box of a gig in a basement at a Syracuse, New York party. And, which has left me with the big idea of learning shout. I'm thinking about it. So next time I think I can do it, it'll be true. But until, yeah, we're going to get him on. I was just 19 when I came to town. They called it the summer of love. They were burning babies, burning flags, the hawks against the dove. So I took a job at the Steamy down on Cauldron Street, and I fell in love with a laundry girl who was working next to me. And she was a rare thing, fine as a bee's wing, so fine a breath of wind might blow her away. She was a lost child, she was running wild. She said, as long as there's no price on love, I'll stay. And you wouldn't want me any other way. Well, brown hair zigzag across her face, the look of half surprise. Fox caught in the headlights, there was wildness in her eyes. Absolutely, all that's true, but is it in the right order that the song actually goes? I'm rewinding. She said, oh man, can't you see, I'm not the factory kind. If you don't take me away from here, I'll surely lose my mind. She was a rare thing, fine as a bee's wing, so fine that I might crush her where she lay. She was a lost child, she was running wild. She said, as long as there's no price on love, I'll stay. And you wouldn't want me any other way. Well, we bussed around in Market Town, we picked fruit down at Kent. We could tinker up some knives and pots wherever we went. I thought we might settle down, get a few acres dug, a fire in the hearth, and a baby on the rug. She said, oh man, you foolish man, that surely sounds like hell. You may be lord of half the world, but you won't own me as well. She was a rare thing, fine as a bee's wing, so fine that I might crush her where she lay. She was a lost child, she was running wild. She said, as long as there's no price on love, I'll stay. You wouldn't want me any other way. Yeah, David. We were camping in the Gulf one time. The work was pretty good. She thought we shouldn't wait for the frost. I thought maybe we should. We were drinking more in those days, and our tempers reached a pinch. And like a fool I let her run with a rambling itch. She was a rare thing, fine as a bee's wing, so fine that a breath of wind could blow her away. She was a lost child, she was running wild. She said, as long as there's no price on love, I'll stay. You wouldn't want me any other way. Now the last I heard, she's sleeping rough down at the Derby beach, white horse in her hip pocket and a wolfhound at her feet. They say she even married once to a man named Romney Brown, but even a gypsy caravan was too much settling down. Oh, they tell me her flowers faded, hard weather and hard booze, but I guess that's just the price you pay for the chains that you refuse. She was a rare thing, fine as a bee's wing, and I miss her more than words can say. If I could just taste some of her wildness now, if I could hold her in my arms today, why I wouldn't want her any other way. From the great Richard Thompson for my stepmother, Donna. And we are so excited here. We have a new guest. He is an irregular himself, so lucky to have him in Bellingham and have him at the kitchen table. And we are actually in the same yard. It's just that we're distanced because that's the way we roll in these times. And make him feel welcome at your table at home and in the yard right here. That's Philip Hofmann here. Philip, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. And for those of you that don't tune in regularly, he talks about irregulars. We're not talking digestion. We're talking about people that regularly come to this show and have formed an online community. Does that come from Sherlock Holmes, like the Baker Street Irregulars? I've heard it somewhere before.
You know, there was a periodical where people wrote about Jack Kerouac called the Moody Street Irregulars.
Ah.
That's where I called it from. And I had a bunch of photocopied versions of that periodical that I got in high school, which I carried around. Apparently, I kept it right next to The Path to the Sea, because after 20 years, I hadn't read it, one of them yet. And then I gave them to Louis Ledford, and I've never seen such a happy look on a man's face when I gave
The
him.
man loves his beats.
So, Beet salad sounds pretty good, actually, come to think of it, when you say that like
Oh,
that.
now I'm getting
Give us a song, Philip. So happy to have you here at the kitchen table.
Oh, thank you,
Bellingham's
Robert.
newest bard.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you. This is such a pleasure, such an honor. You writing about your grandma and like all of your moms. I wrote a song about my mom, but I'm saving her for the kitchen table portion of the show. So I'm going to start out with this song called "Are You Okay?" And I wrote it just before the poop hit the propeller and everything shut down. I played it once at the Honeymoon open mic, and more about that later. But I was just trying to capture what it feels like to be trying to live your everyday normal life with this barrage of terrifying news reports and a president that insists on inserting himself into your consciousness whether you want it or not. I have to say, Robert, I really like having a president that you can ignore safely, and I really appreciate that. I mean, I know he's doing important stuff, but it's going to be okay probably, and I don't have to fret about it. Anyway, this song's called "Are You Okay?" I'm trying to fix the kids some breakfast, but you can't buy coffee anymore. The president is raging, and now the cat puked on the floor. CBS says some new virus is broken out somewhere, so we should all buy masks and wash our hands and pretend it isn't there. Siri, I don't feel so good, like I'm headed for a fall. Alexa, I'm alarmed, but I still need a wake-up call. Well, work is getting crazy. They're saying layoffs loom. The president is tweeting from the Situation Room. NBC says these wildfires will just burn out of control. And now the kids are crying, and they will not be consoled. Siri, make me a daiquiri. Mommy needs a drink. Alexa, lower the thermostat. I think I'm going extinct. Now the freeway isn't moving. Cars are breaking down. The president denies what the investigations found. NPR says this drought will lead to famine without rain, and experts state that everything will never be the same. Siri, we broke the planet. Click undo. Make it right. Alexa, shut my brain down so I can sleep tonight. Now the internet is broken. Facts are intermittent. I heard the president has broken out of prison. CNN says these wars boost the economy somehow, and dying of despair does not depress the Dow. Siri, I don't Give me peace of mind, I'm having a real bad day. Alexa, hit the off switch, make it all go away. Well, the weirdest damn thing happened just the other day. Perfect stranger looks at me and asks, "Dude, are you okay?" That was the awkward drop into the void ending. There's when I played at the Honeymoon, we did a social experiment sing-along ending, which was something like, let's end this with a sing-along. Let's do it this way. Make random eye contact and sing, "Are you okay?" And they did about 4 rounds of, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" There's a continuum between awkward and awesome, and we were on there somewhere. Laura, the bar goddess at the Honeymoon, assures me that it was really great. But I'll try it again sometime. But it doesn't translate online, I'm afraid. Okay, I'm gonna play something different than that. Change the topic. This song is called "Amour, Amame, Amour," and you may have gathered that it's about love. I came across it in a something I was reading, and the character in the book attributed it to something that James Joyce said, and I'm going to take him at his word. I know reading Ulysses has been on my to-do list for about 40 years, but it's not happened yet. Some kid in the homeroom said he liked her. Well, that put her head in a spin. Now she's changing her hair. Does he notice or care? Who's the new girl here now in her skin? Ah, this thing that she feels more exciting, more real than anything she's felt before. Just saying his name is such delicious pain. Amour, amame, amour. Love loves to love love. Who knows the whys and wherefores of the goddess that played in our DNA? Amour, amame, amour. And on the sidewalk below the new girlfriend's apartment, he's looking distracted and lost. Though his brain plays a trailer, low points and failures, maybe this time the stars won't be crossed. Now don't screw this up, he says to himself, just go up there and knock on her door. You want her in your life for the rest of your life. Amour, amame, amour. Love loves to love love. You step on a spinning dance floor, and you turn and you turn and you yearn and you burn. Amour, amame, amour. Now that he's gone, she can't stand that old song, but she won't touch the radio dial. The ache of that tune fills her heart in the room. She can't help herself though, and she smiles. Once she took a chance at a USO dance years ago near the end of the war. Now his name's on a stone with a space for her own amour. I'm a May amour. Love loves to love love, and you're not alone anymore. As you know, so just go and slow dance with your ghost amour. I'm a May amour. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, 3 songs and we switch it over?
Sounded great. Keep it rolling.
All right. This song's called The Edge of the World. This one's real new. I have this chord pattern that I was enamored with. It took a while to figure out what to do with it. So I made a bunch of rules, and so each verse starts off telling you what season it is by telling you what plants are doing. Then it tells you what the birds are doing, and then it directs itself to you being my dearly beloved, who I have been married to for 42 years as of Wednesday. See, that gets applause right there. You just stay married long enough, and you get the applause. Orchards of bloom and rainbows of tulips are busting up out of the earth. Swallows returning and swirling and singing the ancestral songs of the birds. And you once picked me up from the side of the road, and you drove me from nowhere to here. Now the one thing I want to get out of this world is to feel how it feels with you near. So waltz with me, love, at the edge of the world, with the past at our backs as the future unfurls, with pearls and trinkets and bones on a string that wends its way round us and through everything. Heat wave mirages that shimmer like dreams on the sands on the edge of the sea. Seagulls in turns that circle and turn on the uprafted waves of a breeze. You're watching our girls with your mama bear eyes as they cartwheel and dance on the dunes, carelessly throwing themselves at this world that we somehow brought them into. Oh, waltz with me, love, on the edge of the world, with the past at our backs as the future unfurls, with pearls and trinkets and bones on a string that wends its way round us and through everything. The vine maples flaming in crimson and gold in the curious slant of the light. The croak of a raven from deep in the woods as squadrons of geese cross the sky. And you and I scrambling upside Young Mountain to gaze on the islands below And beyond everything, out beyond the horizon of everything we know, we know. Oh, waltz with me, love, on the edge of the world, with a past at our backs as the future unfurls, with pearls and trinkets and bones on a string that wends its way around us and through everything. Deciduous fingers are combing the clouds and dozing and dreaming of leaves. Wild swans winging by on the church of the sky as snow dusts the conifer trees. You gather your coat and you shiver with cold in the fade of the frozen gray light. Now it's you and me, babe, hold me close, and we'll face down the vast, ineluctable night. Come waltz with me, love, on the edge of the world, with a past at our backs as the future unfurls, with pearls and trinkets and bones on a string that wends its way round and around and around. Come waltz with me, love, on the edge of the world, around and around and around. Come waltz with me, love, on the edge of the world, around and around and around and around and around. Thank you.
Philip Hofmann, Bellingham's newest bard. So welcome to our northwest corner of the state, of the country, and so glad to have you around. And we're now entering a new phase of the show where we're going to go back and forth. I'll do one, Philip does one. You know, because it's like this when I'm on the road playing gigs, back when there were gigs, back when there was a road. Is it still a road? You don't need a road anymore if you're not going anywhere. Which is cool, but you notice that people have started to put tables in roads downtown and eat pizza at them, and this is good. We don't actually want to go back to the way it was before. The way it was before wasn't working for a lot of people. So this is a chance to set the reset button, and in our own way, we're setting the reset button with the way the show's going, because the concert is over now. When I'm on the road, back when there is a road and there's gigs to go to, after the gig is over, I go to somebody's house and crash on a soggy couch, and after 20 years and 100 gigs a year, that's a lot of soggy couches that I've become familiar with in my day. And the thing about it is, I have heard that there are places, that there's tall buildings with small rooms that people can go into when they're traveling, and there's doors that close behind them, and they can sleep and this sort of thing. And I have, I think, experienced this the odd time, but mostly what I have the pleasure of doing is being a professional house guest on the road. And always when we come back after the gig, we sit around the table and have a few more jars and a few more songs around the kitchen table. And that is exactly what's happening right now. And that's not something you've prepared for. That's just something, what you play. It's just anything goes, a song that comes in your head, and maybe somebody says something, plays something that jogs your memory. For instance, this morning there was no way I would have predicted that I was going to play Bill Monroe's Kentucky Waltz, but I got inspired. And now I'm hopeful that I've chosen a key that will work, because Bill could really sing. We will waltz, let's take it down. We were waltzing that night in Kentucky, beneath a beautiful harvest moon. And I was the boy who got lucky, but it all ended too soon. As we stood there alone in the moonlight, I still see your smiling face, and I long right now for your embrace in that beautiful Kentucky moon. We were waltzing that night in Kentucky. You know, I think we can do A. Don't you think? Should we just brave it? I mean, E was kind of like it happened. I wouldn't release that on a live record, but I wasn't ashamed of it either. You know, we muscled through. But A might be the way to go. I don't know. We were waltzing that night in Kentucky. It's pretty good so far. Beneath the beautiful harvest moon. And I was the boy who got lucky. And it all ended too soon. As we stood there alone in the moonlight, I still see your smiling face, and I long right now for your embrace in that beautiful Kentucky moon. And I long right now for your embrace in that beautiful Kentucky waltz. Yeah, Bill Monroe. A waltz to a waltz.
Oh, am I here now?
Yeah.
Okay. That was lovely. Yeah. All right. Well, I did prepare because, you know, if I don't prepare, things go badly. But actually,
he's a man who prepares for the after party.
That's right.
And that
That's
has
right.
held a marriage together for 42 years.
Right.
There may be something I can learn from you. I've always just completely gone hog wild at the after party.
Well, when the after party is streaming live, I play it like this. But no, when I realized last Sunday that, you know, this is Mother's Day. I'm doing this on Mother's Day. And so I wrote a song for my mom, and it's at that stage of development where I know the chords. I'll probably hit them most of the time. But if different verses have different tunes, it's because my process doesn't involve writing things down in a tune. It's like what comes up when I go through it, and do it enough times you're there. But yeah, my mom was something special. Her superpowers were acceptance of no matter how weird you were. That was great with her. And optimism right up to the end. You know, it's like, it's okay, you know. I may be dying soon, but that's okay, you know. It's just, I'll let the song do the work from now on. Mom was born in 1930 on a farm in Iowa. 2 brothers and 3 sisters. She was the baby, they called her Muggs. That's her picture on her pony, with her pigtails and a smile. That was in the Great Depression, but depression's not her style. Oh, she'd sing Maresy Dotes and Dowsy Dotes and Little Lambsy Divey, Little Kiddly Divey too, wouldn't you? She learned to type in high school and got a job at Iowa State, where my father went to grad school. They met and married up post haste. Then they set out for the Wild West on a working honeymoon. She was a cowgirl in her heart, and she always loved that tune that went home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play. And seldom was heard a discouraging word, and the skies were not cloudy all day. Mom was a homemaker in the best sense of the word. We grew up free-range children in a strange, turbulent world. But she gave us room to grow into ourselves as we grew up, knowing whatever we turned into would be fine, and we were loved. And she sang, that's okay, roses say, don't you worry now, we'll have good times by and by when the work gets done. Well, we grew up, my folks hit the road and saw as much world as they could. Though age and time caught up with them, if you asked her, she'd say we're good. Then my father fell to Alzheimer's and her own body betrayed her. And as she drifted off, I sat beside her with a guitar and I played her home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, and seldom is heard a discouraging word. And the sky, oh the sky is not cloudy all day.
Beautiful. I've always assumed that Home on the Range was written by somebody from the most northwest corner, the most northwest city, the most northwest state in the lower 48, where it is assumed that the skies are cloudy all day. Because otherwise, why would it be worth mentioning? If you were really at home on the range, would you be aware of a time and place where skies are cloudy all day? So I think they're from Bellingham who wrote that song. Oh, they gave me pretty good stuff. I've been laying here long enough. This cloudy mind, it's not who I am. When I lost my taste for wine, knew I was running out of time. With a twinkle in my eye, I'm saying goodbye. Moving on, moving on, moving on, moving on, moving on, moving on, moving on. I can see the other side. I am ready for that ride. Mind drifting, body floating away. I can hear my mother's laugh. Mary's pouring another glass. Pull up a chair, making room for one more. Moving on, moving on, moving on, moving on, moving on, moving on, moving on. No, I don't want to go, but it's a drake moving so slow. I cannot rise, I can only fall. Pain wakes me from my rest. A few hard, steady breaths. Close my eyes and fade. Moving on, moving on, moving on, moving on, moving on, moving on, moving on. And we're going to sing that together distantly here. And if you're not singing along, that will know that you're not vaccinated, because you don't want to spread what you might have if you're not vaccinated. So it'll be very clear, sort of kind of as a check-in to see, you know, who's taking the time to make sure that everybody in their community stays safe. Where were we? Moving on, moving on, moving on, moving on, moving on, moving on, moving on. One more time. Moving on, moving on, moving on, moving on, moving on, moving on, moving on.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes.
So here's where we're at. The show is moving along at a clip. We get into all these songs here. We got Philip at the table. So we'll get hopefully another one for Philip, and then it will be time to stump the band. If you've not seen the show, there's things you don't know that you're about to find out, and that is that you, as being here right with us, are going to have a chance to stump the band. We learned the way we do this is that everybody here in the live audience needs to prepare a request. And then you may or may not get called on. It's much like being back in junior high school. So that's a feeling I'm trying to cultivate in the moment here. So try to think of a request, and we'll take 3 of those requests, and then Philip and I will look at each other, and we'll give each other the nod to see who can do what with the request. But we're not quite there yet. It's time for one more from Philip. I want to remind everybody at the table, please do find the digital tip jar. We will be spreading these digital tips between ourselves and Philip over there. And I do promise Philip that I will give him a big old cache of digital money tomorrow. So please put some in there. He likes digital money, and he uses it for guitar strings and other various accoutrements. One more song, please, before we get stumped.
All right. Well, this is a request from Robert.
We're playing it real loose over here, loose, just kind of flying by the seat of our pants here. No one knows what's going to happen.
Well, he wanted this one. And I'm not going to argue with him. There's digital money on the table with this decision right here. So, yeah. So this is a song called "A Drunk English Teacher in a Subjunctive Mood." Well, it's girls' night out every 3rd Saturday, and she's the T in the Alibi Lounge, PTA. Seems the husbands are asses, the students little twits. The wives plot their divorces, and she's fixin' to quit. Then 3 G&Ts are so into the night. He walks into the bar room, a new Mr. Right. He's all rangy and lean, and she likes him like that. Rocking a new Levi's jacket and an old Stetson hat. She thinks we're the some movie and we're the star. We drive into the sunset in a big shiny car, where my doubts and my demons not holding me back. We'd drive out of here and we'd never come back. So she go full brazen hussy and buy him a drink. Nothing cutesy or fussy, bourbon she thinks. She'd be flirty and clever, but she'd hold something back. She'd make him work for it, and he'd ask her to dance. Then later at his place, all paneled in pine, he'd admire her underwear. Damn, you look fine. He'd give her one longing look with those deep, soulful eyes, and they'd have the best sex ever had in their lives. Thinking we're this a movie and we're the star. We drive into the sunset in a big shiny car, where my doubts and my demons not holding me back. I would fly out of here and I'd never look back. So she'd move into his place and give it that woman's touch. He'd be secretly grateful, but he wouldn't say much. They'd make beautiful children and they'd all look like him. Go on family vacations, Six Flags, Disneyland. But then he takes out his wallet and pays for his beer. Says, "Good night, Jimmy, guess I'm out of here." She turns back to her friends, thinking, what can you do? I'm just a drunk English teacher in a subjunctive mood. Oh, but we're the movie and we're at the star. We drive into the sunset in a big shiny car, where my doubts and my demons not holding me back. I would fly, I would fly, I would fly out of here and I'd never look back.
Philip Hofmann, Bellingham's newest bard. How many years have you been in Bellingham?
4.
4 years. 4 years.
I'm looking at the management, and it's 4, right? Going on 5.
That's the thing. The question was, does the 4 include the year we've just had? Because it could be 5. It just depends how we're counting that. It doesn't count as
5
half
around
a year.
Jamboree. We moved in and went straight to the Jamboree.
We moved in and we went to the Jamboree. Moved to Bellingham and we went to the Jamboree. We went there, but we were pissed off. We assumed it would be free. We moved in and we went to the Jamboree. You know, they got $50 from us there at the gate. But they were smiling so much they said, you know it's gonna be great. We had lots of fun. There was lots of sun. But we just started to pay rent, so we didn't even bring a tent. We could have had more fun tenting at the Jamboree. You know, it's really alright to bring a tent and stay the night. But we were just new to town and we went to the Jamboree.
That's pretty much how it happened.
Yeah. There will be a Jamboree this year. We don't know exactly what it's going to look like. Look for an update in the next few days. And we do know the dates. Always the second weekend in August, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We will be, this is, could be as close as there is to official announcement, maybe. I don't know. There will be some limited audience available of a decent nature, not an embarrassing nature, enough to get a vibe going, but not nearly what we usually would have. But which means we're going to make an announcement about things. Tickets will go on sale somewhere around the 1st of June, and we will be live streaming as well. So if you don't feel comfortable, you can stay at home, and if you are organized and buy a ticket when they go on sale, you can come. And so very excited. We're working on getting those details out. August 12, 13, 14. And now it's time to stump the band. You get to request absolutely anything, and we do our best to play it. And we hope you wish us good luck on being able to play your request. And I hope you all have one prepared. And we're going to start, I think this is a mother-daughter duo I'm looking at here. And... Oh, wow. Oh, that little number. Yeah, we stumped on that one. I mean, which one was it? She requested El Paso from Marty Robbins. All 14 verses. You know, it's like, I'm not going to do that nor Desolation Row tonight. That is a great song. I love that song so much. I just love it. The Cantina. Oh, my God. And, you know, when Petunia is our guest, please be in the audience because Petunia can actually sing El Paso. And what's your name, Mother? Your name's Wyoming. Well, no wonder you like the Westerns. All right. Well, let's pass it to your daughter there and see if she can request something that I can get a little closer to.
Love is so sweet.
Well, now, isn't that... By who? That is obscure. Yeah. Okay, we are getting stumped. I mean, usually I can eat... Tell them what the request was. Yeah, the request was love is a rose, love is a rose, but you better not pick it. Only grows when it's on the vine. Love is a rose, but you better pick it. Lose the words when you say the word mine. If you had requested that song, at least that would have been a stab, but there wasn't what's requested, so I'm doing pretty bad. I'm going to get someone else to request a song. You've stumped us, the mother and daughter. Wyoming, and what's the daughter's name? No, you only get one. I'm sorry. No, we don't go. Okay, all right. Yeah. She wants. That's it. You know what the prize is? I mean, the prize. I'll get your address. You get something in the mail for playing Stump the Band. Yeah, just got something in the mail, Wyoming. Should I just put it Wyoming, Bellingham, Washington? Philip, you got that one?
Which one?
She don't like her legs all runny. Gets it on like the Easter bunny. She likes swears like a sailor when she shaves her legs. She's my baby, don't mean honey. Never gonna let her go in spite of ourselves. Gonna end up sitting on a rainbow. Against all odds, honey, we're the big door prize. We're gonna spite our noses right off of our faces. Ain't got nothing but big old hearts dancing in our eyes.
Yeah!
Ain't got nothing but big old hearts dancing in our eyes.
Wow.
That is a chorus anyways, but I also want to check in with our host here. Now, I'll say this in the end towards the announcements. We do have some empty Sundays in June and July. If you have a yard where people can gather, we are looking for a few more hosts. But let's go to Jeff and Carol for a request here before the band gets totally stumped. Any van? All the van? All Van Morrison's catalog? We don't have that much time.
Don't you have it in the van?
I'll do. You got some van over there?
Oh, man. You know, I have played Van Morrison songs before, but I don't have one that I can pull up more than, just some chords. So I'm stumped. Stumped is my default settings. Yeah. I was nervous about that part, but I realized that watching you cover John Prine there was maybe the first time I've seen the band not be stumped. So I felt like I'm okay. I mean, I can do stumped.
Gonna send this one out to well, she's going to go out to a lot of people. That's just the way it's going here on Mother's Day, But I want to send it out to Catherine and Bruce. They gifted me some amazing, beautiful speakers and a turntable and a stereo. I got to send it out to Jeff because Jeff built for me a shelf on which to put all my LPs in the stereo, which meant that this weekend I was able to put on Van Morrison Astro Weeks on a good turntable, going through a good stereo, going through some beautiful speakers. Bruce will tell you in the comments exactly what's going on with those speakers. He'll tell you the specs on the amplifier too, I bet, for those who are auto curious. Little Jim is gone way out the back street of the window on the other side. That's why Broken Arrow pointing his fingers down the road, so dark and narrow. In the evening before the Sunday 6 bells chime. Well, on the highway all the dogs are barking way down below. It's just slide from a hillside, retreated view. Get one down the rail, trucks way over the railroad. Inside, and you wander wild and wander around, and all be beside you, beside you. Wander down railroad, way over the rail tracks. You breathe and you breathe and you open up the window and you breathe and you open up the window and you breathe and you open up the window and you breathe and you breathe out, you breathe and you breathe and you breathe out, 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 you breathe out. And you're high on your cloud way up in your magic shroud. You see ecstasy surround you. I'll be beside you. Thank you. Oh, I haven't done Little Astro Weeks. That is my favorite record right there. Thank you for that request. Is Philip still at the table? Am I still here? Is it still Mother's Day? I think it is. And we have not said what we need to say, which is Happy Mother's Day to Joan, David's mother, over there in Kittery Point. Always thinking of her here at the kitchen table. And do we have time for Philip to do one more? I think we do. I mean, there ain't no producer to the show other than us, so. Philip, you got one more?
Yeah, I got one.
Are we past the stuff you've planned?
Yeah.
Great. Right answer.
No,
That's the right
actually. I overplan. Now, you know, full disclosure, I'm a retired teacher. And
we guessed that, actually. We were sort of, I don't know how that hit us there, but.
Yeah. So, you know, I know what I'm talking about with drunk teachers and subjunctive moves.
I'm always
but I also know
requesting
about
the
being
subjunctive
prepared.
move because I don't know what the word subjunctive means yet.
Oh,
and I think if I
yeah.
listen to the song enough times, I can at least misuse that word at some point or closer.
Yeah.
Don't tell me.
No, okay.
Just keep playing the song. Yeah.
No, if you want an
Yeah,
English...
You could.
That I could. Would that I could is the subjunctive.
You know, it's an interesting thing. Here I was on the microphone saying to the audience, don't tell me. And you know what they did? I mean, straight away, we have educators here. They've been educating for so long. It's in their blood, every atom in their body. And I'm not even sure if atoms are in bodies. But I have a sense that it's true, you know, because aren't atoms in the sky? That's like a, I don't know. Let's move away from my education. Way from my education. We're losing audience members up there. They're disgusted. No, they're just moving to the sun. We're having a great time here at the kitchen table, and I want to hear one more from Philip. He's prepared. Well, I don't know what he's prepared. He's prepared to be prepared.
I am, yeah. You know, you don't walk into an 8th grade classroom with nothing. You can get hurt that way. This song's called Alack-a-Day. And this is I don't know, Robert, you maybe do this sometimes. You're trying to clean up the notebook and look if there's something, and there's stuff in there and it doesn't turn into anything and it's still sitting there. But I just went, well, what if I take a bunch of those pieces? And bottom line is there's no real hard and fast rule that every verse has to have the same tune. And so that's what we're working
Philip,
with.
I don't know if you've seen my show at the kitchen table before, but I think you have. The audience here is very, very comfortable with songs that have changing tunes, no tunes,
Changing keys and
changing keys. What they need here is a little recitative.
Yeah.
Can you give them a little recitative?
I just finished it. All right. Red sky in the morning. It's another Groundhog Day. Cat jumps on my chest and starts to sing, I got you, babe. And I rise, I read the Times. These times are freaking strange. Methinks the wind direction's about to change. There's stories about stories telling stories on the wind. The foreshadowing is frightening, you don't want them to end. The protagonists are tragic, so heroic and so flawed, praying their machines will manifest a useful God, and singing, whoa, alack-a-day, I want to go and float away. Just close my eyes and fly past the second star to the right, like a unicorn farting rainbows across the beautiful marmalade sky. Oh, would ya dig those holy madmen and their rusty muscle cars? They're roaring round the mother road, Chicago to the stars. Oh, they dig jazz, they dig enlightenment, they're sweating through their shirts. They dig through the detritus to plant poems on the earth, singing, whoa, alack-a-day, I want to go and float away. Just close my eyes and fly past the second star to the right, like a unicorn farting rainbows across the beautiful marmalade sky. We are only innocent monsters. We breathe fire and call it love. Now Tokyo is burning and the White House just blew up. So we're sleeping in the jungle under broken billboard signs, the proud remains of the human stain. What a gift to be alive, singing, whoa, alack-a-day, I want to go and float away. just close my eyes and fly past the second star to the right, like a unicorn farting rainbows across the beautiful infinite sky. Woo! Thank you.
Thank you, Philip, for being on the show, and thanks to everybody for coming over to the kitchen table. There's always room for you at the kitchen table here every Sunday, 5 o'clock, and we are a roving kitchen table all summer, broadcasting from different backyards to small groups of people. And someday we will get closer to each other. But right now, physically, I feel like we've gotten, spiritually a little closer than we were at the start of this. And let's see, we got some announcements. I guess the biggest announcement is that if you live in Minot, North Dakota, I'm broadcasting from the Atypical Brewery next Sunday. If the good Lord's willing and the creek don't rise, and I can drive all the way to Minot, and I think I can. I'm very excited. I played there 18 years ago, and I found the promoter who booked me then, and he now has a brewery with a beer garden. And I said, hey, man, I'm from the West Coast. I'm vaxxed, but I'm gonna be masked, and I got a rope here. I bring my little rope so no one comes within the rope. We're a little precious. They developed the term snowflake for guys like me. I'm coming to your bar, but I ain't getting close. All right, man. Yeah. And we got a local Minot performer next week who I can't remember the name of. His name's Josh, and I think the last name starts with an M, and I don't know anything more about him, so that's going to really be something else. He's not going to prepare, I hope. I don't know. I have no idea what's happening in Minot. It's going to be experience, and what I'm saying to you is I hope you can join me. And then, of course, we'll be back, and what do we got going on? Oh, at my house, when we're not listening to Van Morrison on the stereo player with my new stereo equipment on my new record shelf, we are getting ready for Bob Dylan's 80th birthday party. We are. Bob Dylan's turning 80, my friends, on the 24th, and on the 23rd, we will be doing all Dylan all the time. Myself and Louis Ledford will be swapping Dylan songs, so please tune in on the 23rd. And then I do believe on Memorial Day, the one and only Karen Kunkel will be the guest, and we'll be performing from The Roost, which is a house not far from here, and there's lots of room to spread out. That's just across the street. If you don't know where that is, go to McKay's Tap House, walk across Samish, and keep your ears open at 5 o'clock, and you'll find us. It's been absolutely a joy. Such a joy to play for you this evening here. My name is Robert Sarazin Blake. This is The Kitchen Table. The name of the show is Robert Sarazin Blake from The Kitchen Table. David Pinder Lofgren's on my right, who connects.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I love you.
Yeah. The screens and the cables all the way from here to Kittery Point, Maine, where Joan has been cooked a wonderful chicken dinner by Al. I can almost guarantee it. And I have some merchandise for the first gig I've played that I actually might move a piece of merchandise from my basement to your living room. It would really be something. Got the LPs, got the T-shirts, and got the corkscrews. I would hate for any of you to get into a situation where you have a bottle of wine and you don't have a corkscrew. Some people, when I say that, think I'm joking. Not true. I have Robert Sarazin Blake corkscrews. They have my name on them, but they're your corkscrew for a tenner. Okay. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, everybody. Thanks to Philip for being on the show. Thanks to Jeff and Carol. I was looking for Jeff. See? There they are. They've got the host with the most taking care of us. We always like to close with this song from my buddy Hank in Cork City, Ireland. Hank plays every Monday night at Charlie's Bar on the Keys, unless there's a pandemic. So he hasn't been playing for a while, so we're playing Hank's song at the end of our show. It's great to see you, because we thought you were dead. Did you come back to life? Did you get out of your bed? It's great to see you. Was that your ghost? We thought you were gone. Burnt toast. It's great to see you. I whisper nothing, sing softly on your ear. Try not to cut short the moment that's here. Shadow it might be, feelings clear. And I couldn't ask for anything more. It's all about the times we share. It's all about the times we share. So it's great to see you. Are you gonna stay? Are you here for the long night? Are you leaving at the break of day? It's great to see you. Yeah, it's true. It's great to see you. It's great to be near you. It's all about the times we share. It's all about the times we share. Play some music for them, David. People who aren't musicians look at that and go, it doesn't seem like he's doing all that much, you know. People who are musicians and hear that I don't play a consistent time for more than 2 measures at a go realize that David is very, very good. It's all about the times we share. Sing that along, everybody. You'll feel better. It's all about the times we share. From Guelph to St. Louis to New York to Ontario, it's all about the times we share. We'll see you next week, broadcasting from Minot, North Dakota. One more go from the crowd here in the most northwest corner, the most northwest city, most northwest state in the lower 48. That's Bellingham, Washington, my home. Coming to you live every Sunday. It's all about the times we share.